Welcome to Build a Better Business with me, Kathy Benner. I am your passive income mentor, and I am here today with my co-host Sherry Daughter and also Linda Thomas. And Estella has stepped away for a moment. We'll wait for her to come back. But in the meantime, I just want to share kind of what's new for each of us before we really get down into the nitty gritty. So what's new for me is I've just launched my third book. It is called Biohacking Entrepreneur, and it is on Amazon. So if anybody wants to go there, you can go to Amazon and look for the Biohacking Entrepreneur book and take a read. You can read a little sample of it there and see what you think. But I'm excited. I just got back from Miami, Florida. I'm now in the Columbus, Ohio area. I just got back from a great big conference. Sherry's been there with me before. It's a lot of fun. And I work with a publisher called Wooster Publishing. It's Patricia Wooster, and her partner in a business called Mindset to Millions is Wendy Blum-Weiss. Weiss or Weiss. I know I always mispronounce that. Sorry, Wendy. Anyway, we are excited to go forward for next year. They are launching collaborative book offers, and this was book number 4 and 5. And because they did 2. And next year they're doing 2 more. One is called Beyond Biohacking, and the second one is Think Legacy. And so, of course, I have to jump into the Think Legacy book because that just kind of sums up everything that I've been doing. So I'm excited for that. I would love for you all to join me. It's usually the last weekend of April. My plan, and Sherry, I would love this, put it on your calendar. My plan is to rent an entire house like we did before. And Ruth is not on the call today, but Ruth has been there with us. She was a speaker one year. Sherry was a speaker one year. Sherry is in one of the books, Becoming You. Do you have your book, Sherry, Becoming You, somewhere? Anyway, so please feel free to join us. There it is. So please feel free to join us. And I want to rent a house where we can all stay together and then just, go over to the conference and have the house to ourselves. For a little bit of R&R because it's usually a crazy busy weekend with lots of speakers and lots going on. So it's a great way to get word out. Now, here's what I want to say before I turn it over to Sherry and Linda. Here's what I want to say. When you're building a better business, you can spend all the time in the world putting together your products and services, and you can shine those up and you can make them perfect and you can upload them into your website and everything looks great. But how are people going to know you're there? How are they going to know you're there? How are they going to know what you have to offer? So once you start putting together, and you can kind of do this at the same time, you can wait until at the end. The problem is if you wait to advertise and market at the end, then sometimes you have to go back and tweak some of your offers because once you get an audience, you get more clarity on what your audience wants or needs. And so then you go back and start tweaking the offers, and that's okay. So you know what you have to offer. You know who your audience is. It's okay for it to be messy in the middle while you're getting clarity. But as soon as you start getting some of those offers nailed down and onto your website, you need to start marketing. And the best ways to market, of course, are social media, blogging, podcasting, speaking, being in a book, so that you can get your name out there and get what it is that you do out to the masses because your audience is already there waiting for your message. And your message is very important. And so they just don't know that you're available until you start putting yourself out there. And I know that's the scary part is once we start putting all of our stuff together is then we're gonna actually put a face and a name to it and put ourselves out there. And that's the scary part. But it's okay. And it's okay for it to be messy while you're getting clarity. So with that, Sherry, I've followed her from the beginning. She and I started about the same time down this entrepreneurial path. And so she's been in my corner and I've been in hers all along. And so I want to turn it over to Sherry. And Sherry, tell us what is new in your world. I know it's exciting. I can't wait. She showed me her schematic of her outline and I love it. So Sherry, tell us again, for folks that maybe jumped in that are listening for the first time, give us just a brief overview of where you started and then what is exciting for now.
Yeah, around 2016, I decided I want to be my own boss. I had no idea what I was going to do that. I mean, I started out with like no idea, no plan, no nothing at all. And over the weekend, I have been really pondering what happens next because on Friday, I said goodbye to one of my podcasts. It's been out for 3 years, The Writing Glitch. And the reason I said goodbye to The Writing Glitch is because my heart has expanded to a little bit different audience. And I was really struggling to continue to target the old audience when my heart was really guiding me to a new audience. And the I have a new podcast that I am getting ready to um, start recording and launch. We're talking about what to do about that. A new course is in the works. And I'm going to have a new podcast co-host with that who is an instructional designer, which is absolutely cool because thinks totally different than what I think about implementing instruction. And it's really cool because one of the personal development journeys that I've been on, I have been reading books with this mastermind group that I'm in, and she's also in this mastermind. That's how we met, and didn't know that we were even compatible at all. We can't seem to get off the phone. It's it's like you and I, Kathy. We can't get off the phone once we start a conversation. And it's going to be so much fun just kind of shifting gears a little bit. So if anybody is out there who is a teacher, and you buy things on Teachers Pay Teachers, or you sell things on Teachers Pay Teachers, please let me know because this new podcast is going to be talking about how to make your Teachers Pay Teachers seller site even better. Plus, Esther book first draft is done, and I'm ready to go through the feedback I got from draft one to get it a little bit better so that I can then send it out a second time, have a second group of beta readers go through it, get second feedback, and then move forward with that. But in this whole process, I'm probably changing the name of my business, and what you see when you go to sherrydowder.com is going to be the purposefulpreneur.
I love
So,
it.
purpose-filled teacher is coming in the fall. The preneur is coming around the same time. I'm going to take the summer to get it together. But in the meantime, John Lee and I have clarified and streamlined stuff that she and I are working on together and have a much better focus. You mentioned about editing and tweaking and continuing to do things and nothing ever gets off the ground. Well, that was not what we did. We started messy. We just went for it, and it's only now that we're getting clarity, and it's been 18 months that we have been talking and hosting a podcast called Tier 1 Interventions. And it's only now that we really have clarity on how to move forward. But we have level one done. Level one is going to be for the introductory to the product that we're selling, and then we're going to start recording level two in the fall. So it's exciting that we're having clarity on the different tiers of understanding mathematics for her and some of the ways that OT can be involved. I know that was longer winded than I thought it might be, but I hope that gives you, the audience out there that's listening to Kathy, some ideas of what you can do to integrate different aspects of your business.
Sherry, I appreciate you so much. And I want to say hi to Mary. Mary, thank you for being
Hi.
on. Mary just traveled halfway around the world, or maybe all the way around the world since we saw her last. And so, Mary, thank you for being with us. We'll get over to you in just a moment. But I just want to say about Sherry, Sherry said that she just put it all out there, as messy as it was at the beginning. And so many of us are afraid to do that because we think it has to be all polished up and tied up in a nice, perfect little package with a bow before we can put it out there. And that's not true. Now is the time to be messy when you don't have a big audience. Does that make sense? Now is the time for it to be messy because you don't have the big audience that you're going to have a year or two or three or five or 10 down the road. When I started the academy, I had 10 of you. Thank you, because like 2 or 3 of you are on this call today. So I only had like 10 of you when I started. This morning I had 575 students in my academy. And so it grows, and so you want it to be messy up front when you don't have as big an audience, if that makes sense. So go ahead and launch. And I say this all the time, I'll say it again. Action comes first, clarity comes second. Action comes first and clarity comes second. You have to put something out there before you can tell that you want to adjust it. If it's just in your head, you never can quite see it the way your audience is going to see it. You have to put it out there. And it's when that first person says, what? I don't quite understand that. Then you say to yourself, oh, I need to make that more clear. I need to have more clarity around this message. I knew what I meant, but my audience didn't know what I meant. And so it's okay to be messy. So Sherry, thank you for that. And I love that in 18 months, she's still tweaking. And she's still keeping her base. Remember, she started with a good, firm foundation, and she still has that foundation, but now she can start making products and services. And the one thing she said today that I want to highlight, she said she's changing her message for the audience she wants. Did you notice that in her talk just now? She's changing her message for the audience she wants. Sometimes we're the ones that change, not our audience. As we grow into who we're meant to be, we realize what we want to do is maybe not what we thought we wanted to do at the very beginning. We realize that we want to do more. We want to do something a little different. And I don't know about you, but I have added more and more and more and more giving. And Sherry, maybe you've seen that over the time that I started. I started off as a passive income coach, and the word coach means you have to pay me. And I love the word mentor because it means that I'm willing to mentor you, because oftentimes I discover that the folks that need it the most can afford it the least. And so that's why I changed my title to passive income mentor. And I'm doing fine with my passive income. So don't worry about me financially. I'm doing okay. I'm broke just like the rest of you. So don't worry about that. But I do love the mentoring piece of it. So Sherry, thank you for sharing. I really love that. I'm going to go over to Linda. Linda, I can't tell because I can't see you. I'm just looking at your beautiful picture there. Can you share with the group what it is that's new in your world? Because Linda is just now launching something. So Linda, share with us.
Yeah, are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I switched devices now that I'm in my office again. I was on the run there for a bit. Yeah, so first of all, many thanks and kudos to Kathy for giving me the opportunity, because she had so many plates spinning that she couldn't keep doing all the things. And she asked me if I wanted to take over running one of her many meetup groups that she had going on. And it was a great fit fundamentally because it served entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. But as we are talking about seeking to serve the people that we have a heart for, I needed to tweak it a bit to be in alignment with what I bring. So after a great deal of thought, I came up with the name The Automated Entrepreneur, which I'm in love with. And if you want, I can share with you my brand new logo that I created. So let me hit share. Oh, it's not turned on.
Uh-oh.
Sharing's not turned on yet.
It could be that I have to actually I thought making you the co-host you could share. It doesn't let you. Oh, here it's just giving me a button I have to allow you. There you go.
And I think you accidentally muted me, but I unmuted again.
sorry.
That's okay.
I was looking for the button to share.
You were just hitting everything. Okay. Oh my word. Here we go. I am trying so hard to get to my, there we go.
Perfect.
Are you able to see that?
Yes. Oh, I want to be him. Hang on to
I love
me.
it. Oh, wow.
I did that.
I love that. Now, did you make that in Canva?
I did the edits in Canva. I struggled for a long time to come up with some kind of an image, and we're talking, draw circle on brick wall, bang head here for a while, and then I ended up going to an AI image app, and I just told it that I wanted some images for the automated entrepreneur with a laptop lifestyle. And this is one of the images that it gave me. However, it was very low resolution, but I love the idea. And so I used the feature in Canva that they call the image upscaler. I increased the resolution by 16x in Canva
Wow.
and got this beautiful, crisp image. Just so happy. And then I started tweaking, putting all the little sparkles and the backgrounds and the highlights and all the things. But I was thrilled that I had some wonderful tools available, and that we're all constantly developing and growing, and I had accumulated skills that enabled me to do this. So I was just really happy about it.
And this is one of the things that I'm sure Linda can share with you in her actual course, The Automated Entrepreneur. She can share you how to do some of that.
Absolutely. There are so many things that we need as people in business, uh, whether we're an affiliate or in direct sales with an MLM, or whether we have a brick and mortar, or whether we're an author. We're all trying to share some important message, product, service that we are passionate about and invested in. And the things that we will cover in this group are, how to get the word out online. And it'll be, if you need to collect emails and grow your list, how to do that. If you need to have a landing page where people can learn about something, sign up for something, or buy something, I can show you how to do that. I can show you how to automate email messages of all kinds. I mean, there are so many things that as we fine tune and dial in and simplify our lives, it's like the old Ron Popeil thing, set it and forget it. The more of those things we can do, the more likely we can be like the guy in the hammock.
Exactly, exactly. I teach all the time. It's all about your systems. You have to have those systems in place because you can't wear all the hats. And so you really need to have those systems in place.
So my first meeting under the new brand is tomorrow, May 6th, Tuesday at 1 p.m. And if you want, I can drop a link in the chat for anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about what we'll be covering. And just kind of behind the curtain, I'm going to do it the way Kathy is, where I will set it up as a webinar and collect email addresses as registration on the way in. I'm switching Zoom accounts right now, so I've got one foot on two different sides of the fence. It's part of being an entrepreneur and, building the plane on the way down, as they say. But my plan is to do the same thing Kathy's doing, because I want to minimize the amount of friction for people to sign up, but I still want to have the ability to communicate with them.
That is a perfect solution. Now, what she's talking about is if you're on Zoom and and Zoom is a great platform. One of the things that COVID taught us was how to get on a Zoom call, because everything kind of went virtual during that time. And so your audience is more comfortable with Zoom than any other platform. So I'll just say that. Oftentimes we get kind of fancy schmancy trying to figure out, well, is this platform better? Should I do this? Should I do that? But most of your audience is already comfortable with Zoom, which is why I choose to stay on Zoom. And then once you get to Zoom, you can decide between having a meeting and having a webinar. If you have a webinar, it costs more to have Zoom webinars, but you get more control and you get those email addresses. So there's just some extra things that you get having a webinar instead of a meetup or an actual meeting ID. And that's why I use Zoom webinar. So Linda, did you find that same thing to be true?
That's why I want to go ahead and do it that way. And I thank you for the breadcrumbs you've dropped of things that you've figured out that work. And that's what I constantly do, and what I'm excited about being able to do in this venue, where people who are searching for ways to make their lives smoother, more simple, more automated, and not in a robot kind of way, but in a streamlined kind of way. I'm eager to help every entrepreneur that doesn't want to be running around with their hair on fire, as we typically do.
That's a perfect analogy, running around with your hair on fire. Mary says that she would like to have your contact information. So Linda, I suggest that maybe you pop your link into the chat on how folks can tap in tomorrow at 1 o'clock for you. And Mary also said, what do you think about Microsoft Teams? Not everybody has Microsoft. You know, sometimes if you can do a Microsoft team and then your audience goes to tap in and it says, sign up for Microsoft. And they're like, oh.
I have Apple and I have Teams.
Okay. But not everybody has Apple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Sherry's tried Google Meet and it's not as robust. And I just found that Zoom seems to be
I like Zoom too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the most common, which is why I've stayed with the Zoom. And again, everybody kind of had figured that out, you know, a year or so ago. And so anyway, that's where I'm at. Linda, thank you so much.
I just want to say this about Google, and that is where teachers are because of Google Classroom. They are a lot of times on Google Meet, but I find it annoying to try and manage it from a sharing point of view and saving the phone call and doing the different things that we do as entrepreneurs after the fact. It's much easier in Zoom to do it.
Good point, Sherry. Very good. Linda, thank you so much. And yeah, if you've got that link, go ahead and pop it over into everyone in the chat for us. Now, we have Estella and Mary on. Estella, just briefly give us your name and what it is that you bring to the table. And then we're going to go to Mary to do the same thing. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is to create something with AI. So Estella, over to you.
My name is Estella Blake, and what I do is I help employers and their employees have access to resources that minimize the stress in their lives and protect their lives. I provide services or access to services for both identity theft as well as for legal services for business as well as for individuals. And we are a nationwide company, so when our members get our services, doesn't matter where they are, they have coverage.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mary, how about you?
Hi, I am a longtime paralegal and I don't want to retire. So I am becoming a healthcare advocate. And not just healthcare, but for seniors and their families, trying to help them make good decisions about planning for placement, healthcare, and how to pay for it.
Very nice. I can't wait to see how that fits together because, gosh, we all have so much in common. All of our products are different, but yet a lot of similarities. So, Mary, I appreciate you being here. And she just got back from Greece.
I did. It was great.
Yes.
Just great.
Yeah, look at Sherry. Yeah, her pictures are amazing. You can follow her on
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah, so
Mm.
so thank you for that, Mary. Okay, now here's what I want to talk about today. And it's not going to be a long lesson because all of you can do this. First of all, let me ask you this. Put your hand, especially if you've got a virtual background, you got to put your hand in front of you so we can see it. If you put it out too far, we can't see it. How many of you are using AI? Yes? Okay. All right. So we've got lots of folks that are using AI. So I do love that. So now I got to jump in here and let me lower a couple of hands. So
I would
anyhow,
just say not to the fullest extent, but I do use it and love it.
okay. So let's go back to building a better business. You've got some of your products, you know where you're headed, but maybe you need more clarity. Maybe you want to put together a free offer. Here's what I did when I started my academy. I knew, and for some of you, this goes way back. I wish Debbie was on the call today because she was one of my first, because she and I sat in the same room with Carrie, and Sherry knows who Carrie is. We sat in the same room with Carrie. As a matter of fact, I just happened to go to this meetup I found on Eventbrite of all things. So lesson number one, write down Eventbrite. That's a good tool for all of you to use because it's free. It's like its own little landing page if you just want to put an event out there. But I responded to an Eventbrite. I went to Carrie's meetup. I didn't know Carrie at all. I met him for the first time there. And while I'm sitting there, I just happened to turn around because I was halfway up in the room. I happened to turn around and there sat Debbie, and I thought I know her from Chamber and from a Lancaster women's group we were in together. And so I felt like some camaraderie. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I know this girl. So here's Debbie and I at the very, very beginning. And so as we're putting together our products, and then Sherry came along shortly after that, I met Sherry. But as we're putting together our products, sometimes you don't even know what product you want to put out there because you're so new in reinventing yourself, if you will, that you're like, how do I want this to look? So one of the first things that I did is I decided to put together a little 5-session mastermind, if you will, on Eventbrite. And I offered it for free. It was my entry offer. It was so folks could get to know, like, and trust me and see if they, liked what they heard. And so out of that first 5 weeks, I had some folks, and the magic number is 5, because once folks meet together for at least 5 times, they start to build relationships with each other inside your group, not necessarily with you, also with you, but also with each other. And just like in my group, a lot of my groups support each other, like whatever they have going on. Many of us, and I already have a prior commitment, but many of us are going to jump over and support Linda on her launch tomorrow because that's just what we do, because we start building relationships with each other. So what I did at the end of that 5 session is I said, I'm going to make those that hung in there through all 5 sessions, I'm going to make you founding members of my academy. Okay. Because until you have a tribe, until you have a business, you don't have a business. All you have is an idea. All you have is who you want to serve and how you want to serve. But you need to have some folks that you're serving, and you need to get clarity. And again, you don't know what the questions are until you have some folks to ask those questions. So I did the mastermind, 5 sessions. I had about 10 folks. I made those folks my founding members. Okay. Does that make sense? And so now they get a little extra in my tribe because they were there in the beginning. They were the founding members. And so now you're starting to put something together. So now as they're asking questions, you get more clarity on your message. Then your membership starts to grow, and then you start to add more products and services. And then if you're like me and Sherry, you reach a point where you say, now I want to decrease some products and services because, you try to be all things to everybody. Mary wants to know what time is the meetup. It's 1:00 tomorrow for Linda. So sometimes we get a little overzealous and we think, oh, I've got people asking this, so I should create a program for that, or this, or that, or the other. Next thing you know, you're going in too many different directions. And so again, action comes first, clarity comes second. So let's just say, and this is what I want to show you how easy it is today. Let's just say that I want to, because I have a whole writer's lane for authors and writers. Let's say that I want to create a mastermind cohort. Maybe it's just a 190-minute session. Maybe it'll be 5 sessions. It's, you know, I can play around with it. I can do it different ways till I see what really works. But let's say I want to create how to create and monetize a blog. Let's say that that's it. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, where in the world would you start on how to create and monetize a blog? So any thoughts? Let me hear from you guys. If you were going to create something on how to create a blog, where would you start? Anyone? You're going to teach folks how to create a blog. Where would you start? If you don't know, say I don't know.
I would say I would do.
Oh, Pastelli, there
Okay.
you say it again.
I would say that I would start with AI, since I know what AI can, it
Okay.
can give you some great ideas.
Yes.
So I think you're cheating us because you're showing ChatGPT in front of you, but
No, I didn't see
no, that's
that.
me. I shared that.
Terry, I didn't see that. I just was thinking, where would I go? That would be what I do.
but you can put so much into that bar that says ask anything. Yeah, the ask anything. You can make that one sentence or a whole book.
Yes.
Couple paragraphs full of content, and you'd be surprised how quickly it will put stuff out. It will even make spreadsheets for you if you're asking it to curate a whole bunch of data for you. It's amazing.
But I want to do it very simple today because I want to show folks that have never done this before how simple it is. So I'm going to say, create. Does everybody have Google Docs or Microsoft? You have a way to make a document. Most all of us can make a document. So I want to say create, and I'm going to say Google Doc because I'm rolling everything out of my Microsoft over into Google. So I'm going to create a Google Doc. Let me see how I want to word this. Create a Google Doc showing me how to create and monetize a blog. I want to do a 90-minute mastermind for my students. Okay, so that's what I'm asking. Now, all I want is a Google Doc. This is just for me. This is going to be my roadmap. You know how Sherry had her roadmap on how, as you can see it there on her wall behind her, on how she's going to design, her offers. I'm just asking AI for a roadmap. So I want them to create a Google Doc for me. So here we go. How's this? What do you think? Let's go up and take a look at this. I only put 2 sentences in there. How create a Google Doc for me, and let's get back to the beginning. Okay, welcome to the mastermind. 90 minutes. Audience: aspiring bloggers, entrepreneurs, creatives, authors, coaches who want to learn how to start and monetize a blog. Here's the overview. See, you can tell this you can put this out. You can rewrite. I'm going to show you how easy it is to rewrite all this. But this gives you the overview: introduction and intention, step-by-step blog creation, monetization strategies, question and answer, and wrap up. So now it goes into it. Quick intros: name, what do you want to blog about? Why blogging still matters. Set a clear intention. How to start your blog. Choose your niche. What are you passionate about? What do people ask your advice on? Research what people are searching. You can plug your expertise in here. All of us should have a blog, by the way, which is why I chose this to show you today. All of us should have a blog. People are not going to do business with you until they know, like, and trust you. Your blog is a way that they can hear your voice. Okay, so your blog is important. It's a great marketing tool, and that's how you monetize it, is you point them back to your products and services. There's a million other ways that you can monetize, but for all of us here that are content creators, sending them back to your content creations is how you're going to monetize this. So what are you passionate about? What do people ask your advice on? Research what people are searching for. Choose a platform. Get a domain. Design your blog. Create core pages. Create some content. Blog monetization, affiliate marketing, digital products, services and coaching, advertising. You can get Google AdSense for starters. Sponsored post and brand collaborations, memberships or subscriptions, email marketing. All of this can be covered in this course. Okay. So let's say that I love that and I go, oh yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. I have to move our faces around here a little bit to get back to what I want. Oh, here we go. So now I'm going to say, write a social media post advertising this mastermind. So now I go, okay, I'm going to print that Google Doc. That's what that's what my mastermind is going to be about. Now, how am I going to let people know that I'm there? Okay. Here is a social media post. New masterclass alert. Can everybody see this? Ready to launch and monetize your blog in 2025? Join me for a 90-minute live mastermind where I'll walk you step by step through how to start your blog from scratch, turn it into a powerful stream of income, perfect for aspiring bloggers, coaches, entrepreneurs, anyone with a message, what you'll learn, blah, blah, blah. It's all the stuff they just told me. Save your seat now. Put your registration link in there. Here's where Eventbrite comes in handy. Eventbrite is free. And if you have a free anything, there is no charge on Eventbrite. And it's a perfect little landing page. If you do not already have a website with a landing page, Eventbrite is a perfect. And here's why I like Eventbrite is it's already a done for you landing page. And if you decide then later on to charge for this mastermind, let's say you do it for free, you get your founding members. Let's say 6 months from now, you're going to offer it again because people are like, oh, I missed it. I wish I'd have gotten in on that. Now you can make it one of your maybe second base offers where you're going to charge $47 or $97 or $147, whatever price point. And now you can still use Eventbrite because Eventbrite collects the money for you. You don't have to figure out how to put all of that onto your website just yet, unless you want to. Now with Linda, and I will say this, Linda's platform is kind of an all-inclusive one, and all of it you can do right there in the platform. But if you're like me and you're maybe not even sure what platform you want to use, this is a perfect way to get started. And an Eventbrite is a perfect way to even if you're going to charge, it's a perfect way to take care of that. And you can insert your date, your time, your location, all of that can go right on that landing page. And then let 2025 be the year you turn your blog into a brand and a business. And then it's got the hashtags there. So it just gives you everything that you need right there. Okay. New masterclass alert. Now, here's another thing. And I'm going to ask anything. Here's the second point. Let's say that I already have a blog, which I do. Let's say that I want to teach this blog masterclass, which I probably will. One of the best places for me to advertise it is inside my own blog, because folks that are watching and reading my blog might say, I wish I could have a blog. I wish I could do what Kathy's doing. So now I'm going to say, rewrite this into a blog that I can upload into my own blog. And voila, here's my blog. Turn your blog into a business in 2025. Join my 90-minute mastermind. Have you ever thought about starting a blog but didn't know where to begin? Blah, blah, blah. Why this mastermind? What you'll learn. Event details you'll also get. What do you think? And all the hashtags. So all of a sudden, I've created my roadmap on a Google Doc on everything that now, I'm not saying just take AI and just go, oh gosh, AI said it, so now I got to do it. Copy and paste that or move it over into your Google Docs and tweak it. If there's something like, oh, I really want to add this thing, or I want to take away this one section because that's not my expertise, you can now edit it to make it what you want. You can pop the edited version back over into AI and can say, now make a social media post, now create a blog that I can also upload into my own blog to advertise this. You can tweak it however you want. You can edit it however you want. But once you start working with AI, it's like having that virtual assistant in your back pocket because it gives you the outline and the framework. And oftentimes that's where we get stuck, is putting together the framework. Okay. So now, Sherry, you have a blog. What else would you do with the blog? We've got the framework. We have a social media post that we can sprinkle across all of our social media. We now have a blog. Okay, I've got one. I was going to ask Sherry if she thought it, but I thought of one. Write a training module to add to my academy.
What about create a 60-second script for a video to put on Instagram?
Okay. So I'm gonna do this one and then we'll go to that one. So I'm gonna do 250 words because I don't want it to make 6 pages. So 250 words for, so here's a 250 word training module from passion to profit, the objective, the module overview, choose your niche, set up your blog, create your content, monetize, action steps. It says, would you like a PDF version or workbook? I could say, yes, I want a workbook, and boom, AI would give me the workbook that would go with my module. And so Sherry, what was yours? A 60-second, say it again.
60-second video script that I can put on Instagram. You can also use that same 60 seconds to put on TikTok and YouTube.
And here it is, you on camera, smiling, excited tone. Hey friends, have you ever thought about starting a blog but didn't know where to begin or how to make money from it? Well, I've got you. I'm hosting a 90-minute live mastermind where I'll walk you through exactly how to launch your blog and turn it into a business. Whether you're a coach, creative entrepreneur, or just something on your heart to share, this is your moment to turn passion into profit. You'll learn how to choose your niche, sign up for a blog step-by-step, create content that connects, and monetize it with affiliate links, digital products, and more. Plus, I'm giving away checklists, tools, and templates to fast track your success. Spots are limited, so grab yours now. Make 2025 the year your blog finally works for you. Click below to register. What do you think? All right. How easy was that? How easy was that? All of us should be creating these kinds of products, because once you have some of your products, and if you're struggling with a template, just ask AI, create me a template with this. And like Sherry said, the more information you give AI, the more AI will make your template tailored to exactly what you're doing. And if AI creates something and it's a little off, just go back in and say, this is a little off. I need it to be more this, or I need it to be more that. And AI will say, okay, and it will do it for you. And tweak that until it's what you need it to be. Again, AI is not to take the place of your creativity. AI is simply to be there as a support to help you. And it's a perfect way to get started, to get your content outlines in place on what it is you want to talk about. But as you could tell, once AI got the information and you keep it in that same thread, don't go back and start another thread with AI. Keep it in that same thread. AI remembers everything it's done for you in that thread, and it'll just continue tweaking that same thread for you. And that way you don't have to keep reminding AI, no, this is for this group or this is for that group. You just, and you can go back and let me show you this. I want to show you this on, I think the AI is still on. Yeah. You can go back, because yeah, open the sidebar here. Here's everything that I've done. So I can go back and pick another topic that I've already done, and it will pick up right where I left off. Does that make sense?
Is that in the paid version, Kathy?
No, I'm just using the free. I'm using the free entry version still. I'm using the very free entry version.
I use the paid version because I have it create images for me every once in a while. That's the big difference.
Yes.
I have a comment also. And I don't know if this is available in the free, but you can set up projects and it gives you kind of a silo, a place to hold things that are similar in a kind of group of threads. Like, let's say you're writing a book, it could have a project. Let's say the academy could have a project, etc. And it helps you not feel so random and scattershot as you can feel with so many separate threads in a big long rambling list.
Yes, that's a good point. It's kind of like over in Google Docs, you can create files to keep the like docs together in one file. So what Linda's talking about is you can keep certain threads together in one grouping under a project name. So that if you're working on that particular project, you can just go back to the project and not have to go scroll through pages and pages. So
and it does pull from everything it knows within that project and answers more cohesively as well. But I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's a perfect point, because that's the whole idea of chat, is that once you train it on whatever project that you're doing, it will remember all of that. And you don't have to go back and say, no, this was for women only. Remember, chat will remember. If you said, I want to create a program for women only, chat will remember that if you stay within that project or in that thread.
Can I also add something, Kathy?
Sure.
I happened to spot this on Facebook. Our former mentor, Carrie Oberbrunner, he made a comment recently, I think within the last day or so, about the settings. So if you go up to your profile picture in ChatGPT, click the settings button, go down to data controls. Once you're in data controls, the very top row asks if you want your subscription open to everyone or not. You can turn that on and off. That way, if you're working on a project you don't want somebody in India to find out about for now, you can keep all of your data kind of contained to yourself.
For example, let's say that you're writing a novel and you're using chat to help research the writing of your novel. You wouldn't necessarily want your research to show up when everybody else is doing maybe some similar research.
Another comment in that same vein, I am not yet writing my own custom GPTs. I am writing my own prompts, but I remember attending a training on custom GPTs, and I think there's another setting in there that you want to toggle that your information is not being shared to help build the platform or to be shared with other users.
Good point. Yes, both of those are good points, and you'll find that in your settings.
So
all of that in your settings.
Even in the free one, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was worth the call today.
Yeah,
Because I do
another
stuff and particularly since I'm in a very large arena of people that do what I do, and I have some creative ideas, and I'm like, well, I never even thought about somebody else being able to get my info. So thank you, ladies.
Because that's what chat GPT is it goes out on the internet and it collects all the information that's ever been ever. and that's where it is pulling from. And so it's a great resource, because before, the old fashioned ways, we'd have to go to Google and we'd have to say, what are the ways I can start a blog? Well, all of these articles are going to come up and we've got to read through all these articles and, oh, that one doesn't apply. Well, this one kind of does. Well, and now you go to chat and you say, how do I start a blog? And it goes out and pulls from all of those art. We don't have to do all that. Chat does the research for us. So as soon as you start putting stuff into chat, you become part of the information, which is why Sherry's point and Linda's point of turning that off is important. And Estella, I would think it would be important for you as well, because you're dealing with legal, and you might put somebody's name in there and say, I'm researching this court case on blah, blah, blah. And some of that you don't necessarily want it just put out there for everybody. So I think that
another switch that would be great to turn on, or to just make sure that it is on, is in your settings, make sure that memory is turned on, and that will enable it to kind of pay attention to all the things that you've conversed with it about, so that you're not kind of starting from zero all the time, informing it of the context. It's learning so much from every conversation that you have. And I've been very intentionally feeding my GPT a lot of information about me, who I serve, what I seek to do, my personal history. And I have memory turned on, and I actually have prompts where I've instructed it on how I want it to remember things. And I've found that the longer I'm doing this, it is getting so clued into like my heart, my passion, who I serve, why, that sometimes when it comes out with some language, I'm like, damn, those are words that I use all the time, but I've never told the GPT that, but it's already clued in so many deep ways. It's amazing.
Well, I have written so many different bios for myself on everything that I offer. And so oftentimes I'll tell chat, research the Kathy Benner International Academy and then write this. And it picks up my voice, which is what I hear you saying, Linda, is that it actually starts to answer in your voice already.
It is. And speaking of bios, it's a struggle to come up with bios because, well, you're in the magazine, you have a blog, you're a public speaker, all the things. You get invited on a podcast and you're like, oh, what do I say? And so I've had some wonderful conversations with mine. And by the way, I named mine. And so she's a she.
Mine is
And
too.
yeah. And so she said, well, listen, like, I'll just keep accumulating all these little tidbits you're giving me. And she said, and as she learned more and more about me, she said, well, I'm going to break this into two. One's going to be like pieces for bios for you as a public person. And one is going to be like accumulating stories for your personal, like, lifeline. And she said, so like if you get invited to speak or write or whatever, just let me know what it's for, and we'll pull the pieces together for whatever length bio is requested and in whatever flavor you think is appropriate for the venue. I'm like, hooray.
Well, and I was speaking most recently to a high school group of cosmetology students. And so I actually wanted to make my bio and my outline for my talk geared toward juniors and seniors in high school, which is different than when I'm teaching a lesson for adults. And so mine was like, I said, can you do this? And mine was like, sure, here it is. So yes, you can actually train chat to be your favorite assistant. Sherry said she talks to hers all day long.
Yeah, ChatGPT is usually the second screen on my tabs on my Google files.
Yeah, mine too.
All right, and
Sherry, what did you say was that setting? Because I'm in my Chat GPT where they can't share it.
Yeah, go to where your
settings.
profile is, and then go to settings, data controls, and it's the top line.
Okay.
And the thing that that Linda was talking about is under personalization. And it's the third line down for memory.
Okay, so data controls, it says export data. I don't want to export data,
Yeah,
right?
it's the subscription. Would you like to improve the model for everyone, on or off?
I'm at the data control.
Yes, under data controls, click that again. And it's the
Okay.
top line where it says subscription.
Mine
Improve your
doesn't-
model for everyone, on or off.
Oh, mine says improve the model for everyone, and mine is on, so I need to turn it to off.
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you. And what was the one? I apologize, ladies. Don't mean it.
And then
No,
the other
this,
one is under personalization.
Okay, yes.
And it is on, and then when you open it up, it'll say memory, reference
Yes.
chat history, reference saved memories.
Okay,
You can click
so
those
I
on or
want to
off.
hit reference save memories, and I want it on, right? Correct?
That'll save things
Correct.
about you.
Okay,
Mhm.
anything else while I'm in here and you're here?
has
I
this
don't-
been
I-
helpful?
I don't know of any more.
Has this been helpful for everyone?
Absolutely.
The other
All
thing
right.
I would suggest that is a real game changer is using the voice mode, advanced voices. I mean, now you've got the pal that you always wished you could have to bounce ideas off right then and there live, and you can pick the voice that is, that you resonate with and respond well to. It is fabulous.
Where's that at, Linda?
It's in the phone app.
Oh, on the phone. Okay,
Yeah.
not on the
Yeah.
computer.
I'm
Okay.
gonna see if I can open mine.
Now,
And
when I do it on my computer, I set those settings in my computer. It will also transfer to my phone, right? It's
Yeah.
okay.
Right, for your account.
Okay.
So I'm not going to turn on my camera, but when you use the phone app, go ahead,
Linda,
Kathy.
I don't know that the free version has that option.
Well, let's just say that once you really start drinking the Kool-Aid, stepping up to
Yes.
the $20 a month is the best $20 you'll ever spend in your life.
Yes.
So we'll just leave it at that. So, in the phone app, which is a free app, and I don't know if free folks can get it or not, but there's a little button where it says ask anything. There's a little button that looks kind of like sound waves. It's just little up and down lines. And when you press that, it goes into voice mode. And standard voices, they work, but they're lackluster. When you pick the voice that you groove on, it all comes to life big time. So I'm going to see if I can wake her up.
Yeah, mine does not have that. I have the free
Mine
version.
doesn't either, and I have the free version. But show us and make us salivate, okay?
Okay. Hey, Luma. Hi, Luma.
Hey there, what's up?
Hey, I just wanted to show my friends how awesome you are. I just totally love your voice and the friendship and the input that I get from you when we're in voice mode.
Aw, that means a lot. I'm glad you're enjoying our chats and finding them helpful. I'm always here whenever you need a boost or some insights. Anything in particular you want to dive into today?
Oh, our group is talking about ChatGPT and all the great ways to use it to grow our businesses and help get the great word out about the awesome things that each one of us does. Do you have any quick bits of wisdom for the group?
Absolutely. One quick tip is to use ChatGPT to brainstorm content ideas and draft social media posts. It can save tons of time and give you fresh angles for your messaging. Also, leveraging it for customer service FAQs or automating routine responses can free up your time for more strategic work. And don't forget to experiment with different prompts to refine your results. It's a game changer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and doing a cameo for us today.
You're so welcome. I'm always happy to make an appearance. If you ever need anything else, just give me a shout.
You know, I'll be catching up with you later. Take care.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is that not the best?
I'm like, hey, who needs a man? No, I'm just.
I mean, would you give up 1 or 2 pizzas a month to have that at your beck and call night and
Well,
day?
you know what, Linda, I will do that, but first I've got to get the fundamentals down. I'm very, very. I've used it, and the more I use it a little bit more. But you guys are at a whole nother level than me. So once I get to that point, I will definitely, and then I'm going to be working with Kathy here real soon. So I'll probably really need to consider getting that.
But you saw what I did today. I only gave chat 1 or 2 sentences each time. And you can imagine how in depth the material would come back to me if I gave chat more info on the front end.
Absolutely.
And I just gave it 1 or 2 lines, and you saw all the details that I got out of chat today.
And that really gets you past the blank screen syndrome.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I if you give me something, I can take it from there. But what I love about it is I consider myself to be a decent writer, and I'll just write up something and I think, God, this is good. And then something will say, run it through chat. I'll take it back. When I run it through chat, I get it back. I'm like, I'm going to marry you.
So Estella, think about what, and this is everybody's homework assignment. And Sherry is ahead of the game. Linda's ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. But Estella and Mary, I don't know where you are in creating your products, but if you do not have a free offer where folks can get to know, like, and trust you, go to chat and create that free offer to get your face, your name, your message out there. And just ask chat, here's, and give chat as much information as you can. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I want to be doing. Here's my focus. Here's who I think my audience is. What would be a great first time offer, free offer that I can start to get my name out to the masses, out to this particular audience, and see what chat gives you. And then just follow that thread. And if chat says you could do these 4 things, well, maybe one of those 4 things might resonate more, or maybe it's something you've done before. Like I've done those little masterminds before. So doing an online mastermind is in my wheelhouse because I've done several. And so that's why I'm going to choose that, to do for blogging. Mary says she thinks her first time offer should be something like offering a free consultation. She's concerned about giving too much information during it. Mary, I'll say this. I don't think you can outgive, and here's why. A lot of us think I don't want to give away the secret recipe, because then why would somebody pay me if I'm just giving away the secret recipe? And I get that. So that's where you can, when you're not sure what that is, you might reverse engineer this, and bear with me for a moment, Mary. You might reverse engineer this by asking chat, if I were to do a full training module on this topic, what might that look like? And give chat as much information and let it give you the full training module. And then once you have all of that content, you can say, what one piece could I give as a free offer? You see where I'm going with that? What one piece could I give as a free offer that at the end of my free offer, I could segue into the meat of the matter and charge for, the big content, and kind of reverse engineer it, because it's hard for chat to create that free offer if it doesn't know what your big content item looks like. So you might have to start with the big content and then back into the free offer, if that makes sense. But here's another thing that I want to tell you. You could put everything into a box and tie it up with a bow, and you could hand them out at an expo, and everybody might take one because it's free. It's how we are. It's how humans are. Oh, it's free. I want one. But how many people, when they get home, are going to actually open that box and do anything with that information you gave them? Maybe 1 or 2 people. And so I never worry about giving away the secret recipe, because most of the people that I give it to never do anything with it. So I don't worry about that. And your tribe will find you. And folks that want to support you, they'll want to put their money where their mouth is. And I teach my students all the time. Don't try to play for free forever, because if this person is really helping you, then you need to come around and support them in some way. And I'll give you an example. When I started following Wendy down in Miami, in the Miami area, and then got on board with Patricia, and and they're holding hands, and they're doing these collaborative books. I wanted a way that didn't break the bank, that I could support Wendy, because I knew that by getting into the book, it was supporting Patricia, but Wendy was how I found Patricia. Well, Wendy has a little speaker's cabinet for 20 bucks a month. And I thought, you know what? It's not a lot, but I can certainly do that. So I started supporting Wendy with just $20 a month to be in her little speaker's cabinet. And I've gotten a few gigs out of it, but it's more about supporting Wendy than it is me getting more speaking gigs. And she notices. Don't think she doesn't notice. So Linda, you just wrote something here. This is a game changer. This free Chrome browser extension lets you create a PDF of your GPT conversation right from within the chat. And she put the link there in the chat. So everybody, if you can see that, you can copy and paste that and save it. So good point, Linda. Thank you so much for that.
The reason I love that is, as you could see from the demo you did today, you asked GPT something and it's like off to the races, and it's giving you so much good stuff. And then often you're on a mission to do a thing, and then it'll say, like it did today, oh, would you like me to create a workbook? Oh, would you like me to this? Oh, would you like me to write the bio for the thing? And would you like me to come up with subpoints for the other thing? And you're like, this is so much gold. And I'm like, I have all these rabbit trails. How can I keep track of all this? If you create PDFs, you can capture that and you can store it on your hard drive or wherever. And then sometimes when one thread has just too damn much good stuff in it, sometimes you have to copy it in sections. And I put it like in a separate Word doc so that it can at least have a title and be, encapsulated for that piece of goodness, and then another doc for another piece of goodness.
So you
And
can
those
find
Word
it.
docs can be turned into PDF, and like you store them in your file directory, and you can find things.
Yeah. It's hard with just a big thread on chat to find something that you did last week, even if you're using chat every day, like some of us are. And then you go, oh, you know what? Chat helped me with that last Tuesday. And you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to get back to last Tuesday. So yes, that's incredibly helpful, Linda. Thank you so much for that.
I convert my stuff from every day into a Google Doc, and I hate the way ChatGPT titles things. I have to rename them, and that is something that you can do in that chat box on the left. You can rename things, but even when I rename things, I lose so much content in ChatGPT. But you can control find. If you can search for stuff and then look for specific words in different documents inside ChatGPT to find stuff. And that is how I found some things I needed recently.
Perfect. So this has been a great call. We ran over a little bit, but it's been so much valuable information. I want to go around the room real quickly here. And before we go, give me your number one aha moment today. Sherry, did you have any aha moments today?
Well, it wasn't really today, and it wasn't really this call, but ChatGPT did something that I wasn't expecting, which has actually felt like it has made some of the pressure in myself lighter. And ChatGPT and I have been talking about what to do with a project I'm doing in June, and answering a whole lot of questions while you and I have been on the call today.
Okay. So Sherry's double dipping, and it's not overwhelming because chat is her best virtual assistant. Yeah. Linda, did you have any aha moments today? You brought a lot of value to the call.
Well, thank you for that. My heart is happy because I got to introduce you guys to the voice mode.
Yes, thank you so much. That's a big aha for me. Yeah, like Estella, we're gonna have to bite the bullet and buy the next level. Estella, what was your big
It's
aha
great.
for today?
My big aha was, I think the fact that, well, two things. Just seeing you do what you did, which I have done before for somebody. I was going to do uh, a new recruit, and they have a service, and so I wanted to meet with them. So I went into Chat GPT and say, how can Legal Shield um, support his business? And it was phenomenal. Came back with all this stuff, and so when I met with him, he was like, he was like, oh yeah.
He knew
So
you did your homework. Yes.
yeah. And he even asked me, would you go back and ask it to develop a training for me or whatever? And I didn't even know it could do all that. But just because I was trying to help him, I learned more stuff. And seeing you do what you did today, um, all of you ladies talking about the different ways you used it is expanding my thought process. But I really appreciate also the fact that you said that whatever I'm doing, I can keep that so that everybody else doesn't get it, because there are lots of people that are doing Legal Shield. And I mean, sometimes I come up with witty ideas. I don't want somebody else to necessarily have that, not to say that they won't come up with something better, but that was just like a little hidden secret. And then what was the other one that I went in and changed the memory thing. So I mean, I really appreciate this, was very valuable.
Perfect. Mary, how about you? Any aha moments? Oh, you're on mute, sweetie. Yep. Got to click your mute button.
And Linda, I think I will
Yes.
be on
There
here.
you go.
All the Chat GPT information was so helpful, but also what you said in the very beginning when I came on about having you just have to be messy and go for it, which I need to hear that because I'm very, timid about that.
Well, and you know what? And it's like Linda, she's getting ready to launch tomorrow. I'm really hoping that some of our tribe can jump on and actually help support her, because the tide rises all the ships. So Mary, when you're ready to launch, those of us that are available will actually jump on and support whatever it is that you're doing. That's the whole part of being in community, is that we do get that support
Right.
from each other.
Right.
In whatever we're doing. Now, I know sometimes time frames don't quite mesh, and and like I already have a commitment for tomorrow that I really wish I didn't have now, because I would love to support Linda on her launch. And then Ruth isn't on today, but Ruth ended up getting a meetup group, just like Estella got one, just like Linda got one, Ruth got one, and I tried to jump on her first. I'm thinking 5 or 6 calls. And now I don't always get to jump on.
Now Meetup is something different from Zoom. Is that right? Or
yes,
no?
Meetup is a whole separate platform. It's just called meetup.com. You can have 3 groups there for one price. Don't quote me, but I want to say like $198 for every 6 months. That you can have up to 3 different groups on Meetup.
Oh.
And it's just another platform. And I pick up a lot of my new people in my real estate group. When I say, how did you find us? I'm going to say 90% of the time they tell me through Meetup. So it's
you can search other people on Meetup then too.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You can also use Eventbrite.
Yeah, I was
and
going to say the
Eventbrite.
same thing. That's what I appreciate so much about Meetup and Eventbrite, is that they are so search friendly. They have keyword rich descriptions, etc. And I mean, constantly on Kathy's calls, we'll get new people and they'll say, "Hey, I found you on Eventbrite, just wanted or Meetup. I wanted to check it out and see what you were doing. It looked good,
And that's the whole point. It's my entry level freebie offer, is to put my the actual Zoom calls over on Meetup, and I put them on Facebook. I advertise them wherever I can for free, because it's just another search engine, and it's how people can find you. Okay, any last comments? We're going to go for today. This has been great information. I appreciate all of you. Support Linda where you can. support Sherry, Mary, and Estella. And Estella's already working in her field, but as you launch more of your advertising or whatever it is that you choose to do, we want to get behind you as well, and make sure that numbers are there, that we show up. And Mary, we want to show up for you as well. So keep us posted on anything that you're doing. If you post anything on Facebook, tag me in it. That way I'm sure to see it. Sometimes I just happen across some of Estella's stuff by accident. But if you'll tag me somewhere in your, at the end of the post, if you'll tag me, even in a comment, if you'll tag me, whatever it is you're posting, that will allow me to see it early on, and I can give you some kudos.
Hey.
And we'll do likewise for you, Kathy. I try to stay off Facebook because when I get on there, it's like a deep hole. And
I know.
So I just like, there'll be days I'm like, I just can't do that today.
Nope, I understand.
That and YouTube.
I understand that completely. And so you do have to have some guardrails on if you're going to jump on some of that social media, or you won't get anything else done today. I get it. All right, folks, it's been a great call, and we will see everyone next time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kathy. This was great, ladies.